Good morning. It is Friday, the 2nd of December. It's been a while since I last chatted. In fact, it was last Friday, the reason being that I was away the whole of this week and I've just arrived back in the office. Our readings today, and we have begun that period of Advent, the build up to the coming of Christ, and which we remember at Christmas, but also we remember Christ coming not only as the little child, but coming again in the future, the second Christmas, coming as Lord and Savior, where he'll be judge of all the earth. And so the readings today, Isaiah chapter 3, verses 1 to 15, and then Paul's first letter to the Thessalonian church, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 1 to 12. And what struck me in the reading, both of those readings, is how Isaiah and Paul are calling us to live lives which are holy and righteous. Both speak about the current state of affairs where leadership has diminished and people are all doing their own thing. And sexual immorality and other forms of sin are rampant, and people are desperate to appoint anyone as a leader. And for me, there are echoes of what we are experiencing in the world at this moment, which I see, where so many of the leaders of the world really are there for their own sake, not for the sake of their people. And if they can take a bribe, then it seems to me that so many of them would be very open to that. They are not there to serve the people, they are there to serve themselves. And both Isaiah and Paul calls us back to holiness, calls us back to a righteous living, where we are told to live as people of God, as Christians in the New Testament, and as faithful followers of Yahweh in the Old Testament. And so really the challenge, I believe, to you and I, you and me, would be to say, how do we live our lives? Will people see God in us in the way that we live our lives? Or will they see us as being very much like ordinary human beings, the naughty lot, with little elements of godliness, where we go to church on a Sunday, but pretty much that's all that we do as far as godliness is concerned. How do we live our lives? What do other people see in us when they look at us? So again, such a sobering thought, but one which I believe is a constant and good challenge to examine, self-examine ourselves and our relationship with the Lord and our relationship with the people around us. So as we go into the weekend, how do we live our lives? What do people see when they look at us? Do they see someone who is different? Not weird, different, but someone who is different and righteous, somebody to whom they could look up? Or do they see you as just one of their mates who happens to have a certain degree of Christianity or church attendance in their lives, and pretty much apart from that, nothing else? So folks, a sobering thought for the weekend. God bless. We'll chat again next week.